Hey guys, Kevin here, and this is Pure Reviews, where I review all kinds of products. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And more importantly, if you find this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button before you go. Maybe even leave a comment that says thanks. It really helps out the channel a ton, and I greatly appreciate it. So today's product I want to cover is my Samsung BeSpoke fridge. And this is more of a follow-up video. We're approaching having this fridge for 2 years, so I want to tell you about how it's going so far. If you are interested in the full detailed review, I'm going to include a link in the description that will take you to that review. There's also a link that will take you to Samsung's website where you can check out a lot more options of what they have now for the BeSpoke family versus when I bought this fridge. When I bought it, it basically only came in 2 versions. Now they have a ton more options, so I'm sure there's something they have for your style. But let's go ahead and go into the things that I have learned over the years and give you my opinion on how well it is doing over time. So first off, right off the bat, I still absolutely love this fridge. It is doing great. And I've had no issues mechanically or anything like that. There is only a couple of weird oddities that we've had to get used to, but they may not be a big deal for you versus they're not a huge deal for us. So we'll go over those here shortly. So first off, as you can see, the fridge still looks great. We have the glass top here with the metal bottom. No scratches. No fingerprint issues, anything like that. Now, I do want to cover in my original video, I talked about how the glass surface is magnetic. And what I basically did is I have these really powerful magnets here, and I basically just stuck them to the surface, and as you can see, it sticks and it stays. So I said, this is magnetic. It's really not. Because if you put a piece of paper under here, this thing will slide down and not stay. Also, if you use a less powerful magnet, like these little photo things, those don't stay at all, as you can see. They just fall right off. Now, obviously, the metal part is magnetic. So, if you are a person that absolutely likes to cover their fridge with photos, keep that in mind with the glass. Now, I believe BeSpoke also makes now one with the TV thing built into it if you want to use that for pictures and things like that. But so that is one change that I've learned over time. Now, let's talk about kind of the size, because a lot of questions I get is over clearances and sizes. I will put in the link that will take you to the cut sheet. Make sure you check your clearances and all that kind of stuff. That is a common question I get. I do have a little gap on either side, and at the top, I have a much larger gap. My upper cabinet, so this is basically level, so it is a little hard to kind of open this, but I can get it up if I pull this up a little bit. So it does work for me, but it just depends on your built-in look, because all the controls are here at the top. So you can slide it in a lot further than you may anticipate, but you just need to check those clearances. Also, another thing that I get a lot is this is not designed to be flush with the wall. So you can see I have it sticking out a little bit, and that's because you have this piece right here that's probably maybe like 4 or 5 inches. And when you open the fridge, it does not pivot in plane. So it does come out and overlap, and that will keep you from having this surface flush with your cabinetry. You would have to have a bigger gap on the sides. If that gap is not important to you, then you can push this back in your cabinetry. But if that gap is important to you, then just keep that in mind that this is probably going to stick out forward. Now, this fridge that I have is not the counter depth model. This is the full-blown model. I don't know if the counter depth model door pivots any differently. So you would have to look into that separately. But for the full model, that is something to point out. Now, also, let's cover the panels, because I get questions a lot about how easy is it to change out these panels. I don't know. I've never done that. Now, they sell the panels, and you can actually replace this whole door piece, which is pretty easy, because when I first had it, I was having issues with one of them, the lights coming on, and I realized when I had the person come out and install it, they didn't plug in one of the little cables at the top, and it's just plug and play. So it is really easy to pop out the doors. There's just a few screws and then little connectors that you connect it to. But if you're wanting to just replace the glass, I've gotten lots of comments, people saying it's really easy to pop it out and change it. Others say it's more difficult, so I guess it's kind of how handy are you on whether you want to hire somebody or not to do it separately. Obviously, you can also buy a new panel with the whole door, which is probably a little bit easier. This is in here pretty good from what, I can tell to pop this out. It has a nice, clean, flush edge. So as far as changing it, I like this because it let me kind of pick my overall aesthetic. I wasn't buying it thinking, I'm going to change this regularly, but you can do that according to their website and their options. Overall, let's talk about interior size. I'm still very happy with the overall size inside. It's been able to fit everything that we've needed when we have like Christmas and Thanksgiving kind of stuff. It's been able to fit a large 14-pound turkey without any issues. I will say the control panel on the side. So if you have if you like to kind of customize things, for example, if you like to change the crisper settings, we pretty much are set and leave it. Or if you decide to constantly change the freezer mode to the refrigerator mode, things like that, I do find it easier to use the app than versus the control panel on the wall. Both are relatively easy, with that said, but I do prefer the phone app itself. Overall, the phone app, I don't really use it very much. It is nice because it will tell you if for whatever reason, if you accidentally leave this door open, it'll beep and let you know that kind of stuff. But I do find it easier to use the app versus the control panel on the fridge itself. The only time I do use the control panel is when I change the water filter. I always buy Samsung water filters. I've heard too many horror stories about the knockoff ones and coming home with flooded kitchens. Overall, I've never had an issue with the water filters. They install really easy, just like all the past water filters. No problem there. Let's talk beverage center, because this is one of those oddity corks that I was talking about earlier. Love this thing. Absolutely love the beverage center. I like having the manual spigot, and I like having the autofill pitcher. With that said, the autofill pitcher is one of those weird oddities that I've had with this fridge. You have to slide it in just right. If it kind of like gives you resistance and it's not going in smoothly, then it may not autofill. And that's one of the things we've noticed a lot is, if you don't put this in just right, it doesn't automatically refill this. How we've kind of gotten around that sometimes is there's a button on the back. And I think that's the issue. Like when this pushes in all the way, it doesn't necessarily fully activate that button. So sometimes I'll just pull it out, press the button a couple times, and then when you slide it in, just make sure it goes in nice and smoothly and is pushed all the way back. As you can see, we use the water pitcher every day. I don't use the fruit infuser very often in there, but that was a nice little include. You can take that out if you don't want to use it. Just remember to clean your water filter or your water pitcher because over time it can get kind of nasty. So just make sure you keep that nice and clean. As far as the freezer space. So overall, the freezer space works great. We've never had any issues with holding sizes of everything. It does take, like anything when you get a new fridge, you kind of find a new spot, new home for things. But overall, really, really easy. And it gives us enough storage space. Now, the ice. I absolutely love the ice. I love the fact that we have two different types of ice, how much ice it makes. And I've had zero problems with the ice maker. That was an important thing when I was looking for a refrigerator was the ice maker because I don't care what brand you pick out there. You look at the comments, you hear people constantly commenting about how their ice makers have failed. I personally feel that that is because a lot of the refrigerators still have the ice makers in the doors, which is in the refrigerator part. And so I think that causes the problem because the ice kind of melts, kind of refreezes, and then builds up and whatnot. And so when I was looking for a fridge, I wanted something that was in the freezer. Sure, I can't just put my glass in and ice magically fall into it. I have to use a scoop. No big deal. But with that said, I get a lot of ice. And I have two different versions, which you can independently turn on and off. So the only quirk with the ice maker is that if you scoop, sometimes you can lose ice out the back. So what I've learned with that is as you're scooping, I kind of pull the ice forward, then grab a scoop and put it in my glass and then put it back. And that really limits the ice falling out the back. Looking at it, I'm not really sure there's a better way that they could have designed it to avoid that, because the way the ice falls, it's in the back and it falls straight down. So if they were to put something there, that would have blocked it anyways. So it's not like they could have made the drawers that pull out with the back part, because that would have probably conflicted. At least there's not something that I can see that would have easily solved that. So the easiest thing to do, pull that ice forward before you scoop, and you shouldn't have any problems. Once we learn that, we're no longer losing lost ice cubes. But yeah, that's overall kind of the big questions that I get in my previous video. Overall, it is going great. I'm very happy with it so far. Like I said, haven't had any mechanical issues, which has been great. It looks still like brand new. I love how bright it is on the inside still. Haven't had any lighting issues. We've replaced the water filter multiple times. It pops up, tells me when to do that. Super easy to do that. And yeah, overall, I'm very happy. The only weird oddity that I could say that we've experienced is with the automatic water pitcher not always filling up sometimes. So if there's still something I haven't covered, like I said, check out the other video. Hit me up in the comment section. Ask away. Typically, I do respond to those. Like I said, if you also found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button. Say thanks. I would greatly appreciate that. It helps out the channel a ton. And until the next video, you guys take it easy. Later. Congrats, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated for the support. Be sure to hit that like button on the video. It really, really does help out. And if you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when new videos come out on this channel.